Billy Cunningham was one of the most underrated forwards of all time. After a legendary career in North Carolina, he was drafted by the Sixers, who already had a generational talent in Wilt Chamberlain. Billy was an important piece to their title team in 1967, even becoming the franchise player after Wilt left. Billy was a great scorer with shooting range out to 20 feet, as his unique jumping ability earned him the nickname Kangaroo Kid. Billy was a monster on the boards, an excellent passer out of the post, and a solid defender. He impacted the game in so many ways as he was a nightly triple-double threat. He averaged 20 and 10 for 6 years in a row, including 2 years in the ABA, even winning the MVP in 1972. He would return to the Sixers until a knee injury ended his career in 1975. But Billy wasn't done in Philly after that, as he would coach them to a championship in 1983 before stepping into broadcasting. Although Billy is a Hall of Famer, it's only right that we give him his flowers. Welcome to Peasy Hoops, and let's get down to it. Billy was born in Brooklyn, making his name at Erasmus Hall High School, winning the MVP of the Brooklyn League in 1961. He also led his team to an undefeated season in New York City Championship as a senior, as he was also named the first team parade All-American. Billy was committed to North Carolina as he was recruited by Frank McGuire, but after Frank took a job coaching the Philadelphia Warriors, Dean Smith took over as the coach by the time Billy was a sophomore. Other than Larry Brown, the Tar Heels really didn't have a lot of talent, so they took their lumps as a program. They did pick up a big win over number 9 Kentucky, followed by back-to-back wins over Yale and Notre Dame to be ranked number 10 in the AP poll. They were 14-5 heading into the conference tournament, easily beating South Carolina, but falling to Wake Forest by 1 point. Billy dominated this season, averaging 23 points and 16 rebounds, making first team All-ACC. Larry Brown left to turn pro in the summer, so it was the Billy Cunningham show in his junior season, but the Tar Heels were still a weak team, as their defense was one of the worst in the nation. They started the season 6-3, but would end the season 11-11, following bad losses to NYU and weak ACC teams like Clemson and Maryland. They beat South Carolina again in the conference tournament before falling to Duke. Despite the lack of success as a team, Billy was cementing himself as one of the best players in the nation, averaging 26 points and 16 rebounds, making another All-ACC first team. Billy was slated to be the star again for his senior season, as the Tar Heels were still finding their way as a program. They started the season 8-8, but they rattled off a 7-game winning streak to finish the season 15-8, facing Wake Forest in the conference tourney, but they would lose by 16. Billy averaged 25 points and 14 rebounds a game, winning the ACC Player of the Year award. Billy was selected 7th overall by the Sixers in 1965, joining a team led by Wilt Chamberlain, Hal Greer, and Chet Walker. He settled into a 6-man role as a rookie, but he showed flashes of potential when he got the opportunity. He had 20 double-doubles on the year, while he also showed that he can pass, recording 5 or more assists in 9 games, with his best performance being on January 9th against the Hawks, when he dropped 31 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists on 10 of 19 shooting. Wilt averaged 33 points, 25 rebounds, and 5 assists, winning his second MVP as Philly finished 55-25, facing Boston in the division finals. But at this time, nobody was beating the Celtics, so Philly lost in 5, as Billy shot 5 for 31 for the series. As a rookie, he averaged 14 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. The Sixers hired Alex Hannum as their coach going into 1966, as they would dominate the league. Billy got more minutes this year, and he was showing his ability, dropping 19 double-doubles and scoring the ball more, even dropping a then career-high 39 points and 6 rebounds on 14 of 20 shooting against Detroit. The Sixers were 46-4 in their first 50 games, as their top-ranked offense scored 125 points per game. Wilt won the second straight MVP as Philly finished 68-13. Billy averaged 18 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. The Sixers faced the Cincinnati Royals in the first round, with their star duo of the Big O and Jerry Lucas. The Royals surprised Philly in Game 1, beating them at home behind 33-16 from Oscar. Billy shot 2 for 12 in this game. He would actually shoot 28% over the next 3 games, but the Sixers would beat the Royals in 4 to face the Celtics in the division finals. Wilt averaged a triple-double this series, with 22 points, 32 rebounds, and 10 assists to help the Sixers win in 5 and advance to the NBA Finals, facing the San Francisco Warriors led by Rick Barry and Nate Thurmond. Billy stepped up big early on, dropping 26 points in Game 1 and 28 points in Game 2, both Sixer wins. He averaged 16 points and 6 rebounds over the next 4 games to help Philly capture the title. He continued his role as a Super Six Man in 1967, being a double-double machine and scoring at a high level, with 23 20-point games and 6 30-point games. Wilt averaged 24 points, 24 rebounds, and 9 assists, winning his 3rd MVP in a row as Philly went 62-20. Billy averaged 19 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists this year as the Sixers faced the Knicks in the semifinals. He only played in the first 3 games of the series, but he was playing some of the best basketball of his career up to that point, especially in Game 3, when he dropped 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Sixers got past New York in 6, but they would lose to Boston in 7. It was pretty clear that Billy was close to breaking out as a star, so when Wilt left in the offseason to join the Lakers, the Sixers were now his team. He averaged 24 and 13 in the first 20 games, even grabbing 20 rebounds 3 times. He dropped 36 points, 23 rebounds, and 4 assists on December 15th against the Knicks, and 44 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists on the Knicks again a month later. Even with the loss of Wilt, the Sixers still had the best offense in the league, as Billy was a first-time All-Star, an All-NBA first-teamer, and finished 3rd in MVP voting. For his breakout season, he averaged 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, as Philly's 55-27 record matched him up against the Celtics. Billy averaged 24 and 12, but the Celtics' elite defense held the Sixers in check, beating them in 5 games. Billy would have his best season as a pro in 1969, as he couldn't be stopped offensively. He had 48 20-point games, 17 30-point games, and 4 40-point games, including 46 points and 22 rebounds on November 8th against Seattle. This was also his best rebounding season as well, grabbing 20 rebounds 13 times. It was the usual occurrence of an elite offense combined with a shaky defense for the Sixers, as they finished 42 and 40. Billy's career year saw him average 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. The Sixers faced the Bucks in the semifinals, but the Sixers' bigs really couldn't stop Kareem as he averaged 36 points and 16 rebounds for the series. Billy still did all he could, dropping 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists in their only win in Game 2. He even dropped 50 points and 10 rebounds in Game 4, but the Bucks still won. Even though he played the entire Game 5, he shot 9 for 26 from the field as the Bucks eliminated the Sixers. Philly knew that they needed some front court depth, so they signed veteran Bailey Howell and drafted Dennis Autry out of Santa Clara. Billy was still playing his usual brand of basketball, but he was passing even more, leading to a stretch in late December with 3 straight triple-doubles, including an insane game on the 20th against Portland, where he dropped 31 points, 27 rebounds, and 11 assists. Billy was establishing himself as an elite all-around player, with 16 30-point games, 48 games with double-digit rebounding, and 6 games with double-digit assists. He still had some help, as 5 other players averaged double figures. Philly improved from last year as they finished 47 and 35, as Billy averaged 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists as he made his 3rd straight All-NBA first team. The Sixers faced the Bullets in the semifinals as Billy dropped 26, 6, and 5 in a Game 1 win. He averaged 20, 16, and 8 over the next 3, but they were all losses, as Philly was down 3-1 in the series. He dropped back-to-back 30-point games to help Philly tie the series and force the Game 7. Billy and Archie combined for 67 points, and Philly put up 41 points in the 4th quarter, but the Bullets destroyed them on the glass and shot 51 free throws as they won the game and advanced. There was a lot of roster turnover in 1971, as Archie was traded to the Bullets after 1 game, while they also traded for former All-Star Bill Bridges. But overall, the Sixers were a lot weaker than usual this year. Billy was still putting up his usual numbers, even dropping a career-high 47 points, along with 12 rebounds and 9 assists on 67% shooting against the Blazers on December 17th. He would have 12 30-point games, 4 40-point games, 5 games with 20 or more rebounds, and 8 games with double-digit assists. But Philly was a lot worse this year, as they fouled the most, gave up the 2nd most rebounds and the 2nd most points, and were in the bottom half of the league in assists. The Sixers finished 30 and 52, missing the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Billy averaged 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Back in 1969, Billy signed a 3-year deal with the Carolina Cougars of the ABA that would take effect in 1971. But since the Cougars were late on paying the full signing bonus, Billy signed a 4-year extension with the Sixers in 1970. The Cougars attempted to file an injunction in September 1971, but it was denied by a U.S. District Court. In April 1972, the decision was reversed on appeal, so Billy was obligated to honor the final 2 years of his contract with the Cougars. Billy joined the Cougars team that had some great players like Matt Calvin, Joe Caldwell, Steve Jones, and Ted McClain. Billy dropped 28 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 assists in his ABA debut against the Squires. He had a near 5x5 game on Halloween with 19 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists, 6 steals, and 4 blocks. He had a near quadruple double on January 12th against Dallas with 23 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists, and 7 steals. He would also experiment from the 3-point line with 14 makes on 49 attempts. Billy dropped 12 30-point games, 2 40-point games, 6 games with 20 rebounds, 10 games with double-digit assists, 10 games with 5 or more steals, and 3 games with 3 or more blocks. Billy led the Cougars in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks to win the MVP. Joe Caldwell and Matt Calvin also had all-star campaigns, as Carolina's second-ranked offense led them to a 57-27 record. This was a stark contrast to how the Sixers performed this year, as their 9-73 record would be among the worst in NBA history. Bill's amazing season saw him average 24 points, 12 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 2.5 steals, and a block as the Cougars faced the Nets in the semifinals. Billy put up 25 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in a Game 1 win. He averaged 21-9 over the next 4 games as Carolina won in 5, facing the Colonels in the division finals. This was a back-and-forth grind that went the distance, but in Game 7, the Colonels defense held Billy and Mac to a combined 14 of 34 shooting as they would win by 11. Jim Chones would be the new big man in Carolina for 1973, as Ted McClain was inserted to the starting lineup. Billy was playing great to start the season, dropping 30, 15, and 6 on Halloween against the Spurs, and 28 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 blocks on December 2nd against the Nets. But Billy would go down with a knee injury in mid-December and miss the rest of the regular season. Mac and Ted, who led the league in steals with 3 a game, picked up the slack and led Carolina to a 47-37 record. In his shortened season, Billy averaged 20 points, 10.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block as they faced the Colonels in the semifinals, but he still wasn't 100% as the Cougars were easily swept. Sensing that the ABA was in financial trouble, Billy returned to the Sixers as the team looked a lot different with guys like Steve Mix and Doug Collins. Billy was starting to slow down this year, but he was still playing at an elite level. He had 3 triple-doubles this year, scoring a season-high 38 points, along with 15 rebounds and 5 assists on January 31st against the Bucks. He dropped 5 30-point games, 38 games with double-digit rebounds, 4 games with double-digit assists, and 8 games with multiple steals. But this would be the first time in 6 years that he didn't lead his team in scoring. The Sixers' offense as a whole was inefficient, so they continued their playoff drought with a 34-48 record. Billy averaged 19.5 points, 9 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and a steal. Philly would turn things around in 1975 as they signed ABA star George McGinnis and drafted World B. Free, Daryl Dawkins, and Jelly Bean Bryant. Billy continued playing well this year, but on December 5th against the Knicks, he would go down with a knee injury as it was revealed that he tore cartilage and ligaments in his knee, which would lead to his retirement. In his final season, Billy averaged 14 points, 7.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and a steal. Billy would come back in 1977 to become the head coach of the Sixers. In his 8 years as a coach, he was the fastest to win 200, 300, and 400 games in NBA history. He never missed the playoffs, made the NBA Finals 3 times, and won the franchise's 3rd championship in 1983. After stepping down from coaching in 1985, he had a long career in broadcasting. Billy Cunningham was one of the most complete players to ever play the game, as he really didn't have any weaknesses. Even alongside a ball-dominant player like Wilt, he showed that he can be a star, and once the opportunity was there, he became one of the best all-around players in the league. However, the Sixers never really gave him the help he needed to bring Philly back to the top. He then went to the ABA and dominated there as well. He was a Sixer through and through. Man, thank you. I really appreciate y'all for watching the video, man. I seen some of the stats he had, especially when he was playing in the ABA. I'm like, you're leading your team in all 5 categories. You're getting near 5x5 games, quad dubs. Like, why is nobody talking about this guy? Like, you're getting 20 and 12 next to Wilt. And this is a young Wilt. And this is like when Wilt was dominating the ball. I want to score all the points, Wilt. That's crazy. But that showed how good of a player he was. Like, he really didn't have any weaknesses. He could do everything on the court. He was a great shooter. He was a great rebounder. He was a great passer. He could play good defense. Dude could do everything on the court, but it seems like he just wasn't talked about. Because I guess like after Wilt left, they didn't really win anything after Wilt left. If you think about it, they never really put any other stars around him. I mean, Archie Clark was great. I don't know if he played with Hal Greer and them, but Hal Greer was great. But they weren't like the players that you really needed to get over the hump. But I got massive respect. And the fact that he coached the team like a year after he retired and then guided them to a championship shows how much trust the organization had in him. Well, shout out to Billy Cunningham, man. He's one of the best players that people don't really talk about, man. Thank you guys for watching. We're almost at 2,000. We're so close to 2,000. Thank you. Leave a like if you enjoyed, man. I really appreciate y'all for all the support with this channel, man. You guys are really making this fun, you know. Because I like looking at old footage and watching these guys play and then looking at the crazy stat lines they put up. Especially when he was in the ABA, I'm like, this dude is going nuts. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Be safe. I'm out. Peace.